The Department of Defense by Gabrielle Alter. The DoD was officially established on August 10, 1947, under the name of the National Military Establishment. The establishment was created in the National Security Act of 1947 because the act mandated a major reorganization of the foreign policy and military establishments of the United States government. This act merged the War Department, Navy Department, and Department of the Air Force into the DoD. The DoD was created in order to help with better coordination of the armed forces in future engagements for the defense of America. This was necessary because during World War II, there was a lack of communication and caused several misinterpretations among members of the armed forces. The act was signed by President Harry Truman in 1947. The DoD was renamed from the National Military Establishment in 1949. The mission of the Department of Defense. The mission of the Department of Defense is to provide the military forces needed to deter war and to protect the security of our country. This department is responsible for the deployment and allotment of the armed forces such as the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, National Guard in order to protect the American way of life. The current head or Secretary of Defense of the Department of Defense is Chuck Hagel. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is General Martin E. Dempsey. The head of the Department of Defense is chosen by the President and is affirmed by the Senate through the power of advise and consent. The head must be a civilian retired from military life after 7 years. If it has been less than 7 years, the applicant is not eligible. The head may be removed by resignation, impeachment, or by death. There are several programs of the DoD. One of them is the Transition Assistance Program, or TAP. The TAP program impacts the members of the military who are transitioning from military life to civilian life through means of military help, financial aid, and small business loans. This program is for current military members and their spouses. This is a successful program because it is shown to be a great increase of those who are successfully transitioning into honorable and acceptable means after being in military life. Another program is the National Defense Education Program, or NDEP program. This program affects students who are part of the STEM programs. STEM programs are programs involving the sciences, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This helps find jobs and create jobs. It is successful because of the large increase of students who are part of the STEM programs offered in many universities and colleges and are finding jobs in the DoD as researchers and scientists. The DoD can and has made rules. One example of this is the DoD FOIA. FOIA, commonly known as the Freedom of Information Act, is changed with the DoD FOIA because the DoD FOIA Act deals with civilian access to information regarding the DoD. The DoD is checked by branches of military such as the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines, and by Congress. The DoD makes rules involving members of the military and their actions such as appearance, way of actions, and what they can and cannot do. Some general information about the DoD is that it is comprised of the Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Joint Chiefs of Staff, Coast Guard, and the National Guard. The DoD also works with the general combatants and other combatants of the world. The DoD also works on communicating to the public what they determine is necessary to be shared, such as with the assassination of bin Laden and the deployment during the Ebola crisis and the redeployment of forces which we hope are never necessary in Iraq. Thank you very much for watching. These are my sources.